Give me 13 minutes to scientifically prove God exists using only the Bible. The Bible states, God is all light without darkness. This is all I need to know to prove God exists, because the light and darkness physically exist. It's not how you read that statement, it's how you read into it. It does not state that light is good and darkness is bad. It simply states what God is in terms of science. In 1666, Sir Isaac Newton proved that the white light of the sun contained a rainbow of colors known as darkness, because all the colors in the rainbow turn to black when combined. Not very intuitive. Few people can wrap their mind around the colors of darkness in the light. So Newton's book entitled Optics is really about the light of God, because God was the force in all of Newton's equations in his math. In the beginning there was light. According to Nikola Tesla, light is electricity at a different frequency. Proof of this is that the wavelength times its frequency equals the speed of light. So the two are the same. So light really is everything. To understand the Bible, we must understand witchcraft. Sir Isaac Newton was an alchemist and studied witchcraft. So he was a wizard and known as the last magician. Witchcraft means words and spells that have more than one meaning. A word like red has many spells like red. After you read something, it's read. Yet read and read are often misspelled. It's all how we say and spell words, and what words we choose to use. It's the art of illusion, so magician translates to wizard, and Nikola Tesla was the last wizard. Sir Isaac Newton said he was a descendant of Jesus Bar Abbas, since he proved that Christ was inserted into the Bible during the 3rd century. So Christ and Bar Abbas are the same person, making only one Jesus in the Bible. Adding the word or spell of Christ in front of any name does not change the person into two people. It's not that type of magic. So Jesus was also a wizard. The staff of power gives this away. The fact he was a leader of the militia who defeated the Roman Empire for their use of money and taxation was the only miracle in the Bible. So the root of all that is evil is money, and not the darkness in the light. Science is what we can prove to be a fact based on evidence, not some theory that may never be proven to be a fact. So to prove God exists, I must prove that the light is alive and has intelligence. And at a very young age I proved that white noise has intelligence. And the majority of scientists have proven that it has intelligence. So it is a fact. So I call this phenomena trinary energy. And it is a massless light found inside of every atom made of neutrinos. I will define trinary as 3 logical states of +1, -1, and 0. To illustrate this, I will draw a line on a graph and label it 0, and draw a line above the 0 line and label it +1, and finally draw a line below the 0 line and label it -1. This graph describes alternating or direct current, or an AC/DC waveform, and it also represents Trinity. So we can call the +1 the Father, because when we look at an atom under an electronic microscope, we see a solid atom, and we can see that it is 3-dimensional, meaning it has width, height, and depth. We call the -1 the Son, because the Son wants to do the opposite of the Father, and since the Sun is semi-solid, we know it's in the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd dimensions. We can call the 0 ground. Another term for ground is Earth. Another term for Earth is Mother Nature. And since the atom disappears or is invisible, We can call this the Holy Ghost or Spirit of Mother Nature, or just Mother. So we have the Father, Mother, and Son, or Trinity, the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, or Spirit of Mother Nature. So Trinity, or trinary, describes the same thing. Since we have earth, we have heaven above it and hell below it. Light is inside the atoms that make electricity, so our brainwaves are proof of intelligence in the light. The Bible states, "I am God," and God is all light without darkness. So I am a light being. So I am and I am means the same thing in the context of God, since we are made of neutrinos and God, also known as atoms, proving in the Bible the first person was Adam, or at least made of atoms. It should be clear that the Bible is talking about science, and not describing emotions in terms of light, light being good and darkness being evil, where evil is a backward spell for live. So it's witchcraft, words spelled to have more than one meaning, proving the Bible was written using witchcraft. And my cousin Isaac Newton decoded the Bible, and it tells of a story about a man named Jesus Bar Abbas, who fought for the militia defeating the Roman Empire, and tried to get the people to rebuild the Great Pyramid. It is a power plant that can take in salt water and break it down into hydrogen and oxygen. Burn the two together and you get pure water. Because Moses, the dark wizard, destroyed the pyramids for its gold, creating money and law. And all that is evil that follows, which hid his story about Jesus Bar Abbas by inserting Christ. Told by Isaac Newton, it is a much different story, and why his science is no longer taught in school. Isaac Newton brought the Age of Enlightenment to the world. The Newtonian universe was based on light being static, so it did not need any magic called propagation, which means atomic acceleration. In steps the godless dynamic universe, with no explanation to how this is even possible. A static universe means the light does not move. It's made of atoms, and atoms are made out of a shell of neutrinos that are bound by the light I call trinary energy. So in the zero dimension, there is no dimensions for light to move, so the space collapses around the atom, making it appear to disappear. Since we cannot see atoms without space, and space makes up 99% of everything. And keep in mind, an atom includes proton, neutron, and electron. And it's the electron that orbits the proton and neutron. So when the electron's frequency is right for light, you can see the light inside the electron when the electron is in the zero dimension. So the right frequency is one that allows the electron to be collapsed long enough that you can see the light inside. All these frequencies are known and documented. The static model of a universe means that all light is static in the zero dimension, which is the only time you see light. The electron is still changing states from solid to semi-solid to invisible, where you see the light inside. The atom or electron only moves in the zero dimension to prevent friction from burning it up. The reason you do not see light inside of a proton or a neutron is because they're filled with light without darkness, meaning the light is not in the visible spectra of light, whereas the light inside of an electron is darkness. Its frequency determines its color. Since light is static, it is the logical order of the trinary universe. And trinary energy is controlling all the atoms in the trinary universe. I proved God exists scientifically in 3 minutes. I used the rest of my time to teach you why you do not know this. It's because Christians will not teach Sir Isaac Newton's universe, because Newton is against the teaching of Christ, making him the Antichrist. So the powers that be changed Newton's birthday from 25 December 1642 to 4 January 1643. Then they removed 10 days, making it 14 January, which just happens to be my birthday, proving that Santa and Satan are the same word with different spells, such that Santa is seen like the light to Christians, and Satan is the darkness, when in reality we only see the darkness and call it the light. So they have it all backwards. The truth about science is based on facts. A theory is science fiction. Until it becomes a fact, it will remain a theory. And I do not want any theories in my science, because I only want the truth about science in under 13 minutes. I know this is a fact because
I am the light. I am the darkness. I am every shade of grey in between. I am the light wizard in the flesh.